Hello. Hello, my friends. Good evening. How are you? I just realized my tea is over there. Hang on. I'm rolling away. I'm rolling away. We got water. We got tea. Oh, gotta have the tea. It has been a day, let me tell you, but we are here, and I am so excited that you guys are here. Andy is here, and he found the little button. Thank you so much again, Andy, for your continued support. I really, really do appreciate it. He's got coffee at the ready. Coffee? Isn't it really late by you? What you got coffee for? I have tea. I've been drinking hot tea like it's been water today. Lauren, hello. Alyssa, hello. Susan, hi. Good to see you all. I'm so glad you guys are here. I have had it's not even been a weird day, to be honest with you. I have a scratchy throat. I have a scratchy throat, and I don't know, do I sound any different to you guys? This is actually, believe it or not, except for literally like 3 or 4 sentences that I have said to my husband today, and like the 2 stories that I've spoken on Instagram, I have not really talked at all today. Oh, I did talk a little bit on the Rise Through Style Society get together today. I asked some fashion questions, which was actually really fun. And I've been kind of a lurker in that group, but I haven't actually actively participated. And today I asked questions, and I had a conversation with Christy in real time. It was a lot of fun. But I haven't been talking all that much because it started last night, which is like a little scratchy, and like it was like food irritated it or air irritated it. And it's one of those things, like I woke up this morning and it had not gone away, and I had been constantly clearing my throat. And so me, of course, paranoid me, right? Do I immediately think that it's COVID? Yes, I do. I immediately think that it's COVID. Never mind the fact that like I went outside in the freezing cold air. We've had snow dumped on us for more than 48 hours. And so like the weather is different, the air is different. Everything is really, really cold. It's been very cold. I did a very vocally taxing set on Sunday. So my voice has been tired. You sound stuffy and my voice is a little lower. Yeah. So, like, there was a list of like 500 things that it could be. We're moving suitcases around, and because we're getting ready to travel and all that. So, it could be all of those things. And my mind immediately goes to, I have COVID. I took a test. I do not have COVID. There was no indication. There wasn't even an inkling, a little like, is it fate? No. Completely blank. Totally fine. Is your set on Sunday on YouTube? Yes. It should be. It should be on the Wooddale Church on their web. I don't know if they have it on their website, but Wooddale Church has a YouTube channel, and the set will be on there. It should be. Just go to like it was their live stream at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. And that's where you will find it. And Rosie snuck in and Julie snuck in. Hello, ladies. Yeah, so I sound like I'm not, so it's just weird. Like, so no COVID. Hallelujah. Happy day. I had to try it. Because I'm paranoid and we travel soon, and I sing at church again this weekend. And so, and then just for funsies, I Google, cause what you do is you Google your symptoms, and that never ends badly. Right. But I Googled like sore throat COVID, and I found one article that was like, the difference between a sore throat for like the first symptom of COVID is that instead of it being like a truly sore throat, it's more of a scratchy throat, which was literally exactly what I was experiencing. It's not so much pain as it is like sandpaper. Like, are you freaking kidding me? So that's what made me go, maybe I'll take a test for it. And it was negative. I'm fine. I'm fine. And I'm just like, I texted my family. And I'm like, is this the new normal? Am I going to be paranoid and take a COVID test every time I have a completely normal wintertime symptom? I haven't had a cold in years, y'all. I haven't had a cold since this whole thing started. So like I'm due for a cold, aren't I? Whatever. So I'm going to stop and drink some hot tea often this evening, probably. There's a lot of crud going around now. I know. And that's why I was like, if I have anything, it could be irritation. I've also noticed, this might be TMI, I don't know, but occasionally I've been noticing a little bit more of like an acid reflux type situation. And I have found that when it burns here, like the sensation lingers, right? Like, and it causes that pain and that scratchy. So it could be like something I'm eating between that and like I had like this more like mucusy thing that made me go clearing my throat a lot, which as a voice instructor, I know you're not supposed to do. I only do it when I'm like, I feel like I just, there's something there that I got to kick, right? So I cleared my throat a lot yesterday too. So again, it's not at all surprising, but I still am like, oh my goodness, it's freaking COVID. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're allowed to have a sore throat. I got snow before you. I don't even want to talk about the snow. It has been snowing for days. It finally stopped today, and I saw the sun for literally a minute and a half. I was in the kitchen, and all of a sudden our kitchen lit up, and I was like, I literally was like, oh my God, the sun. I out loud. My husband was on a meeting, and I literally exclaimed, oh my God, the sun, because I haven't seen the sun in at least a week. No sun. It has been cloudy. It has been overcast. It's been gross. I was, excuse me, really, really hoping that this weather would hold off a week. Just a week. That's all I needed. But no, it started flurrying on Sunday while I was at church. And Monday, the heavens opened and we got snow. And then on Tuesday, we continued to have snow. Happy birthday to me. Snow on my birthday. Anyway. And there's a lot of crud going around right now. I know. Been in that state of paranoia for months, usually ignore it, but have some moments where I've freaked out. Yeah, but you keep actually catching COVID, Lisa. I've only had it once. And when I tested positive, I was asymptomatic. I didn't get my symptoms until like a day or two after I had tested positive. And I felt a little weird. I lost my appetite. And but my nose was running. That was like my big thing it was like a faucet and I just had to keep taking Sudafed because I was either congested or my nose was running. That was it. That was all I had. And then I had the lingering energy loss and everything. But like in terms of like my actual sickness, I was a little bit tired, but I just had a runny nose. That was it. So like the throat thing was new for me. I was like, if this is COVID again, and I know it can present itself differently at different times and whatever, but I don't know. I have one from strep and one with type. I got my flu shot. Lord willing, I got my flu shot. I'm up to date with my boosters. But admittedly, I've also been hanging out with people. I was in very close contact with a lot of individuals on Sunday on the praise team. And guess what? As long as I'm not sick, I'm going to be doing it again this Sunday. Oh no, we won't. It's the new flu. Oh right, Andy, you weren't here last week. I'm in the same spot. I literally just turned around, so I'm usually facing that wall. But because of my lights, which I can't get a good frame, this shouldn't be in the frame, and I've got my camera over there and all sorts of stuff. But I wanted my lights to be festive because it's dark outside anyway, so I don't freaking need to use the window anymore. It's dark by 4:30. Ridiculous. Who's calling me? My mother is calling me. She doesn't remember that I live stream on Tuesdays, although now I'm remembering that she did in fact tell me she was going to call me on her way home from work. Oh well. I've only have one confirmed COVID case. Constant clue. Yeah, that's fair. I've never had a positive rapid test. Interesting. See, the rapid test, it depends on when you test, because my husband had COVID symptoms on a Thursday, but he tested on that Thursday and was negative. And then by Saturday, he was positive. And on Saturday, I was negative. And by Tuesday, I was positive. It's a very, very interesting thing. Yes. I own as many nail polishes as a nail salon, and I also have a whole bunch of dip nail polishes in there as well. So, friends, let's talk about highs and lows today. Share your celebrations, your wins, no matter how big, how small, anything like that. And then if you want to share your struggles for the week, I'm happy to hear those as well. My high was, of course, I turned 36 years old. My birthday was on Monday. It was the most low key birthday I think I have ever had because the snow was falling and I refused to leave the house. I was going to go get my free birthday Starbucks. I was going to go get myself a pedicure. And once I saw the snow on the ground, I was like, nope, not leaving the house. And so even for dinner, my husband picked up sushi from our favorite sushi restaurant. I ordered our favorite sushi, ordered the extra fancy roll because it was my birthday. And then God bless him, he went over to the fancy grocery store and made sure that I had cake for my birthday. And so he went out in the gross weather and then brought everything home. And then we watched Celebrity Jeopardy. And he gave me two of my presents. And then today I got actually like the big one. 37. Oh, I'm only 36. The title of this is 37 by 37, but that's because I have recommitted to my weight loss goal, which we will talk about in a second. So thank you for taking care of that. It's Rosie, it's on at 11:30 your time. So it will be, if you can find the traditional service, it should be the next video will be the modern service because they do stream their traditional one first. They stream that one at 9 o'clock and then they stream the one that I sing at 10:30 my time. So there's that. So my high was my birthday, 36 years old, 36 years young. My low is the freaking snow. Like I want to say that it's the scratchy throat, but no. It couldn't wait 1 week. It couldn't wait 1 week. To say that I'm really mad about it, like, is not an understatement. 1 week, and I would have missed all of it. But no. Happy birthday to me. We got a couple inches of snow. Thankfully, I don't have to leave the house until tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have errands to do. The snow has stopped today, and the roads are looking halfway decent in my subdivision. And if they look halfway decent in my subdivision, they're going to look even better on the main drag. So, please, God, no more snow until we leave. Thank you. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? Anybody else have any highs, any lows? Before we get into of course, the topic of today's video is, so full transparency, I was going to have a vlog for tomorrow. I was going to vlog my birthday, and then nothing happened. I literally didn't do anything for my birthday. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to chat with you guys about the chit chatty parts that was going to be in that video. And then tomorrow I just don't have a video because it's not worth my energy the week that I'm packing to throw something together. But y'all, I was like, I'm going to vlog. We're going to go out. We're going to do things. We're going to adventure. You know what I did? I went downstairs. I worked out. I lifted weights. I got on the elliptical. I watched the second Santa Claus movie. I watched a Christmas movie. I played with the dog. I did a little bit of work, I think, actually, and just like finished up some Christmas gift wrapping. Like I literally just stayed around here and did nothing. Nothing. So it wasn't even exciting. Like there was nothing for me to share with you, which I'm kind of bummed about because I was like, oh, that'll be fun. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. Went to bed before 8 p.m. and lifted today. My nanny kid made me laugh. Excellent. Excellent. I downloaded a new game on my iPad and on the 20 Days of a Thick Black Cloud. Ugh. Gross. But new games are always fun. New games are always fun. I was very sad the day that I finished my my one iPad game that I was having such a good time with. The story ended. And I was like, oh, it's over. I was having so much fun with that. No, I have not started it over. My husband and I are actually playing a really, really great video game right now. It is a co-op game. We are playing it on the Xbox, but it is available on the Switch too. And I don't know where else it's available, but it's called It Takes Two. And we've been looking for a good co-op game to play together. And he Googled, and this one had great reviews. We're having such a good time with it. It is so fun. It is so well done. So if you need a co-op game to play with somebody, It Takes Two is a really, really, really great one. I'm a big, big fan. Did I have cake? You saw a cupcake. Yes, you did. You saw a cupcake. I got one of those big old jumbo, probably 450, 500 calorie cupcakes. I ate every single bite of it, even though it was day one. Did I track my entire day on my birthday? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because I was like, even though I'm intentionally going over, I am still going to track my entire day, because that is the commitment I made to myself for my 37 by 37. So yes, I had cake. That was the one requirement. And of course, I felt really bad because my husband went and got his flu shot that morning. I didn't realize he went over to Target to do it, or I would have said, "Hey, can you pick up something from the bakery?" And this is how men. So we've got Andy here with us, but like, being married to a man is so interesting, because even though I've known him for over 10 years now, it is still baffling to me how differently our minds work. And I don't know if it's a male female thing or if it's just an Eric and Brianna thing, but he is so compartmentalized that he literally went to Target on the morning of my birthday, and he went grocery shopping the day before. Bless him. He came to church to go to the early service and sit with me after I sang the first service. And then while I was singing the second service, he's like, "I'll go to Target, I'll do the returns and pick up the like, few groceries that we need for the week. No big deal. Then you don't have to go." I was like, "Great, thank you." He was there, and he tells me this on Monday after I talked about getting cake. He goes, "I literally walked through the bakery section at Target, and we have a super Target, so it's a really nice bakery section." He goes, "And I was looking at the stuff and debating whether or not to buy a treat." And I was like, "No, we're going to be leaving soon. We don't really need any extra treats." He goes, completely failing to connect the dots that your birthday was tomorrow and that we needed cake for your birthday, because that was not the mission. I was not at the store to have anything to do with your birthday. I was at the store to pick up the things that were on the list, and I was thinking about the fact that we were leaving, not the fact that it was your birthday. Therefore, no cake came home. He then proceeded to get up and go to the same Target to get his flu shot on my birthday. But because the mission was not Brianna's birthday, the mission was get your flu shot and get back to work. It didn't cross his mind. It didn't cross his mind. Whereas if I were to go to the store and, I've got, I'm doing the grocery shopping over the next couple of days, figuring out what exactly it is we need, I would have had the thought, "Oh, let me pick up some cake for my birthday," or whatever the case may be. "Let me make sure we have a dessert because it's a special occasion." I would have had no problem recalling that information. But he is so compartmentalized that if it wasn't if he got up and went to Target because it was my birthday, he would have come home with cake. But because it wasn't the reason he was there, it didn't even cross his mind. Is this a way that the male brain works? Because I know that they tend to be very compartmentalized and it's like one mission and one mission only. Or is this a way that my husband's brain works? I just thought it was fascinating. It's so fascinating. A farm simulator. Excellent. That's kind of what my game was. The game with like the little bit of witchcraft in it. It was also like a very big farm simulator, and I really liked it. Struggling with the diet thing, just dealing with a ton of anxiety, waiting to hear about insurance so I can get a procedure done on my eye. If I were to go to store first, I do a million other things. There's a good chance a specific task I went there for wouldn't get done. Yeah. Andy says yes. That is how men's brain works. And that's what I thought. It's literally just one of those, wow, the differences between male and female brains. And it made me chuckle. So he had to go out and run a different errand because that errand was Brianna's birthday food. And he went and got cake and he went and got sushi. And that was what he needed to do. But I was just like, you could have saved yourself an errand if you would have just thought about it the 2 times you were at Target in the last 24 hours. I just thought it was so interesting. My hubby is the same way. You should have cake on your birthday. And yes. That's exactly what I did. 100%. And then yesterday I got right on track. And lo and behold, I am down half a pound already. Heck yes. So let's chit chat about the things. I have a Q&A thing going. So if you have any questions for me, let me know. I have a couple of questions that were submitted that had nothing to do with the topic of tonight's video, and then a couple that did. If you have any other questions as I talk, let me know. But the official declaration is my title, because I like fancy titles. I like titles that make sense. I like titles that are matchy. My official title for for my 2023 goals, which are, of course, they started Monday, right? Is 37 pounds by 30. It's technically 37 by 37, but I threw the pounds in there to make sure people knew what the heck I was talking about, right? But it's 37 by 37. My goal is to lose 37 pounds before my 37th birthday. Can she do it? I have no freaking idea, but I'm going to try. Will I accomplish it with just consistency? Here's hoping. I don't have to do anything special. I know the numbers that I need to hit, thereabouts. I know that there are going to be days that I'm going to want to bump up to maintenance. I know that there are going to be times that I need to diet break. I know that there are days that I'm going to screw up. I know all of these things, but I hope, logically, mathematically, it should all work out to help me be able to achieve that goal. In order to achieve that goal, I have to lose 0.72 pounds every single week for a year. 0.72. And you want to know something very, very interesting? While I was journaling this morning, I was thinking about I wonder what my average loss was when I was getting down to my goal the first time, right? And so I pulled up my old Weight Watchers trackers and I picked the start date from I know this is the time that I really was in my brain. I turned it on and went and got the thing done. And so I counted how many weeks it was from that date until I hit my goal weight of a too small for me goal. But my goal nonetheless, and it was 64 weeks. And the amount of weight I needed to lose week over week to get that goal in 64 weeks was 0.72 pounds. I'm not joking. The calculator spat out the exact same number down to the decimal points. I was like, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Literally the exact same number week over week. And here's the thing. I wasn't completely consistent those entire 64 weeks the first time either. I know that for a fact. There are giant gaps in my of 3, 4, 5 weeks where I didn't weigh in. I don't have weigh-in records and anything like that. And I still managed to get there, losing 0.72 a week. And so I was like, okay, that's what the magic number is. If I can pull off some weeks where I lose a little bit more, fabulous, because we all know there are going to be weeks where I don't lose anything or I gain, and I'm emotionally ready for it this time. And that's really the big difference, right? That's the big difference is this time around. Now that I'm done with my own crap, now that I'm done putzing around, now that I'm done being but I want to break all of the diet rules and eat all of the healthy foods, but the fats and the this and the that. I've kind of gotten all of that out of my system. And I'm like, okay, or we just buckle down and get this done. Cause that's literally my goal right now. And the process is, and I know I mentioned this before, this is the singular focus that I have for the next year. This is the singular focus. I have one big picture goal, one lofty goal. I am not trying to do this and grow my YouTube channel and grow my Instagram and create an entire big clientele base for my coaching and this. And I'm not doing that. And every year, that is what I've been trying to do. Oh, this is just my health and fitness goal. And this is my work goal. And this is my finance goal. And I try and do all of it. And what have I done? Crashed, burned, and burnt out every single time. So I knew that something had to be different. I had to approach something differently. Rosie's question is, how confident are you I can make that happen? I'm wildly confident that I can make it happen. I'm very confident that I can make this happen because I'm in the right mindset for it now. And with this being my primary goal, as long as I have the self-discipline to remember that this is priority one. This is priority one. Everything else other than regular house management duties, right? Everything else does not rank as high as this. This is the only thing that I have to get done this year. If I accomplish growth in no other thing this year, that's okay because I can get this done. And then here's the good news. Once it's done, I'm done. I'm done. I don't have to worry about it ever again. I'm done. And that's the thing. I've been sitting here, twiddling my thumbs and kind of half-assing it the entire time when really I'm if you just get on it and buckle down, you can get it done. And then you don't have to do it anymore. And that's wildly motivating because there is so many other things that I want to be doing and want to focus on. And when I say that I'm done, I don't mean that I will be done with like health. No, no. We're going to continue to do those things, but I've talked a little bit about the concept of maintenance goals, right? Sometimes the goals that you need to set are goals to maintain the current status quo. If I can modify things to get my body down to the status quo that I want it to be at, then it's just maintenance. Then it's just maintaining the healthy diet at higher calories because I'm in maintenance, and the weight training to continue to get stronger and build muscle and do all of those things. But this is step one, right? This is the first thing I got to do. I got to knock this off, and then we'll progress from there. But then what will allow to happen is this won't be priority one anymore. And so I can focus my efforts more on YouTube, more on whatever. And that can be priority one because all the health stuff can just take maintenance goal status from that point forward. But this is the thing that it just weighs on me in a way that I'm sure many of you understand. I'm sure many of you understand that you're just like, you get to that point where you're just fed up. You're fed up and you're like, I could have done this already if I would have just applied myself and done what I said I was going to do. And it's interesting because granted, I'm only 2 days into the regular tracking because I did track. Like I said, on my birthday, I ate a healthy breakfast. I did all of those things, but I knew I was going to be over, right? I'm 2 days in and they were easy. They were easy days. I just was like, oh yeah, this is just what I do. Oh yeah, this is what I do. I have said no to eating the random chocolates in the afternoon. And let me tell you, yesterday, the UPS man showed up and delivered my favorite chocolates of all time. My aunt sent them to me for my birthday, and they showed up yesterday, and I have an entire box of Fannie Mae milk chocolate vanilla buttercreams sitting on my table. And I have, without issue, had two after dinner last night and tonight, and I was able to stop. And I was done. And like I actually thought about, I was like, I kind of want a third one. And then I was like, you don't need a third one. You can have two more tomorrow. You don't need a third one. Stop it. And you know what I did? I poured myself another mug of hot tea. Thank you, Lauren, for noticing my Harry Potter mug. When it is hot, the Marauders map actually shows up, which is really cool. I poured myself my tea and I came up here and got ready to talk to you guys. And I was just like, why does this feel so easy? It feels, and granted, again, it's only day 2, right? It feels like it did the first time when I actually buckled down. It was just something that I did. Staying within my numbers was just something that I did. And and for me, the difference will be unless I was having an off day. But for me now, it's unless I intentionally make the choice to be like, this is a higher calorie day. And it's just, I was just like, wow, this feels like, it feels like the one time I got down to goal is when like everything aligned and I felt truly ready. And everything feels like that again, which thank God. But it's really nice. It's a really nice feeling, right? So I'm pumped about it. I'm super, super excited. And here's the reality. Will it be 37 pounds? I hope so, but I am open. My mind is open and my heart is open to if I only lose 30 pounds or 25 pounds and I feel good about what this body's doing at that weight, fine. I'm done. I'm done. 37 by 37 just sounds pretty. And it puts me in a weight range that is completely reasonable and not 135 pounds. Thank you very much. Nowhere close to that, actually. It puts me in an acceptable weight range, which is awesome. But if it's 5 or 10 pounds more and I go, you know what? No, this is good. Then it won't be 37 by 37. It will be I'm at goal by 37. Happy day to me. Whatever. So I'm very open to that being a possibility and that being something that happens is me going, actually, I don't need to do 37. Awesome. Great. Thank you. But the bottom line is by 37, I want to get it done. I want to get it done. And whatever that takes. And I think, and not in terms, obviously not in terms of like extreme dieting or extreme anything. We're going to be completely manageable. We're still eating the full fat foods, just in moderation. We're still eating our sweet treats, but maybe in moderation. all of those things. The rules still apply. I know a lot more about nutrition, and I know a lot more about what foods work for my body. I know a lot more about what my body needs. Here's what I have understood about my body, and this is my body personally with CMT, this body, right? Um, Calorie deficit needs to be lower. We already know that. I have to do a lower calorie deficit. That's fine. I have found that my body responds the best on the scale when I'm meeting that calorie deficit and getting my 10,000 plus steps. And that's how I functioned when I did it the first time, right? I was a stepaholic. I loved the steps. I needed the steps. I craved the steps. The Fitbit, like that was my jam. But there's apparently a reason because I'm weighing myself daily forever, right? I watch the weights go up and down, and I see like, oh, I had a couple of really great days. Why did the scale not do anything really? And what is interesting is there tends to be a theme of if I go a couple of days with lower steps, like over the weekend, sometimes I get a little lazy and my steps are like 5,000, 6,000, and I'm eating around my calorie goal, there will be a much less dramatic difference. And I'm using dramatic lightly, but like there will be, maybe I'll maintain, maybe I'll spike, whatever. If I do the same thing, if I ate the same foods, but upped those steps, not a crazy workout, just maybe I'm ellipticaling just enough to make sure I get those steps and I'm moving more throughout the day. But if I get to 10, 11, 12,000 steps, the scale is much more compliant. If nothing changed about the food, same food, completely different results just with the extra movement. So my body needs both elements, right? So that is something that I'm very focused on. And that is something that I talked myself through today as it was rest day from the lifting workouts. So I decided, I was like, I still got to get on the elliptical. I still got to make those steps because that's what's going to help you see the results you want. My body apparently, I don't know the biological explanation. I mean, I know there's like the whole you burn more calories and then you're in a deficit and all of that. But like really it's mind-boggling to me how I can be in the deficit, but the difference of 5,000 steps like makes a huge difference in what the scale says. So for me, that's what I have to do. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to focus on. That the QB on the floor behind you? Yes, it is. Right there. That is the QB. I needed more space. I was tired of having to like rest my feet on it when I wasn't actually actively using it. So I moved it and I have space underneath my desk now. Imagine that. I just started an all rice noodle diet because 20,000 Chinese can't be wrong. Skip dessert entirely. Can you download that ability into my brain? Rosie, I don't even know how I downloaded it into my brain. Like I said, I just over the last couple of days, and I don't know if it's just because I'm like, okay, I'm going all in on this. And let me tell you, it is very, very freeing. And I understand that this is a privilege that a lot of people cannot afford, in that I can allow this to be the top priority for me. I don't have work goals that are going to get me fired if I don't make them. I don't have children that I need to keep alive. I have a needy animal that I need to keep alive, but as long as she's sleeping in a blanket, she'll be just fine. And so I have the freedom to genuinely make this my top priority. As long as I feed my husband, he's not going to care what I'm doing. And as long as the house stays clean, right? And so it's going to be like, this is my full, you have my full attention priority, which means I can do like the mindset work behind it. I've been journaling about it and it's been helping download that ability into my brain to just be like, oh yeah, this is just what we're doing right now. This is what we're doing. I am not at all worried about the holiday travel coming up, even though it will be perfectly imperfect, which is the part that like I'm a little confused about why I'm not quite as like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fail at this. But I guess it's just because I'm confident that I'm not gonna. Because even if next week when we're at my grandparents' house and I'm not weighing and measuring all of my food, although maybe I could bring the food scale. I don't know if it's worth it. Actually, it's probably not worth it. But I have guardrails and rules in place that will help me stay on track even if I can't track perfectly. Like starting my day with protein. You better believe I am bringing Fairlife nutrition shakes with me So I can have one with breakfast every morning, regardless of what's available for breakfast. So I can have protein. I'm going to be very, very conscious of listening to my body for hunger cues. And if I'm hungry, I will eat. If I'm not hungry, we're not going to eat, you know? Um, and so until I get to Florida, where I know I'll at least have a food scale, not total control over what's in the house, but enough control. Um, there I do the cooking too. So I will be in control for the most part. Will we get Jupiter donuts? Yes, I'm certain we will. Will we be going out to eat? Yes, I'm certain we will. And will I need a day off occasionally? Yeah, probably. Will I take full advantage of the fact that there's no snow in Florida and walk outside to get my steps in? You better believe it. And so it just feels like it feels easy. It feels easy. Again, I've only been tracking in the deficit for 2 days, but the mindset that I am in feels very different, and it feels very, very good. It feels very good. I'm pumped. I'm really pumped. And then once I get it done, I can move on to bigger and better things. So that's kind of where I'm at. Does anybody have any questions about that? And while you ask your questions, I'm going to talk about the questions that showed up on Instagram today. The first one was this: will you plan to be in weight loss mode the entire year, or do you have a reverse diet planned? So here is my plan. One of the things that my coach and I established, which, full transparency, I am no longer working with my coach. She has taught me everything that I need to know. And it got to a point where I'm just like, this is it was a very redundant thing. I love her. I still follow her. We still communicate, all of those things. But it was just time for me to not be spending that money there, because I wasn't the return on investment wasn't as huge, because I'm too smart for my own good. And if I want to mess around with things, I have the power to do that, whether she's holding me accountable or not. So I knew I just kind of needed to take a step back, take a little bit of time off, reconfigure, and go forward. But I'm taking a lot of the stuff that we learned together under consideration as I am coaching myself currently. I actually think she's also coaching herself right now, which is a thing. Coaches can coach themselves. So that's what I'm doing. I am coaching myself through this. But I'm using what we learned about myself. And one of the things we learned was Brianna can't eat too many calories. And I don't mean like calorie surplus. I mean, my deficit needs to be a lot lower. One of the guardrails, one of the things that you can do, and it's interesting because Jordan Syed actually just posted a video talking a lot about how long is appropriate to be in a calorie deficit. And it really does depend on, a whole host of factors, which he gets into. But the reality is, if you have a lot of weight to lose, you can be in a calorie deficit longer than if you don't have a lot of weight to lose, because your metabolisms will change a little bit quicker, your body will get used to it, whatever. One of the things that we determined for me was, because my deficit has to be so extreme, I need to be a more extreme deficit person with more frequent breaks, or as Jordan actually calls them, refeed days. So for me, it's going to be more about making sure that I stay in my deficit and then pop up and have like a day in maintenance every 2 or 3 weeks, just to make sure, not in a surplus, just in maintenance. But for me, the difference between deficit and maintenance is very, very different, because I can maintain on a very wide range of calories, but my body won't lose on the moderate deficit. It has something to do with my muscle tone. Doctors can't tell me why. I'm assuming, based on what I know about the human anatomy and physiology, I am assuming that that's what it is, because it is a known fact that the amount of muscle mass, lean muscle mass you have in your body increases your metabolism. I have a test result that shows that I do not have a normal level of muscle mass in my body. Therefore, A plus B equals C, right? So what I'm going to do is, I don't have a solid plan yet. I don't have a date circled in my calendar. I'm going to go by how I'm feeling, how my biofeedback is treating me. Am I sleeping well? Am I hungry all the time, or am I doing just fine? Like, that's been the thing though. These last 2 days, I've not been hungry at all. I've not been hungry at all. And which has been great. It's been wonderful. So if I continue to not be hungry, I'm going to continue the deficit. And then, if I continue the deficit between now and Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving will be a refeed day. And then in a couple of weeks, we'll have Christmas, which will also be a refeed day. Things like that. So, especially for the holiday season, my diet, the timeline lends itself to refeed days and things like that to just kind of keep things going. If I find that I'm starting to really struggle, I'm getting grumpy, low energy, low libido, hungry all the time, I'm going to take a diet break and I'm going to, take a week off, eat at maintenance, eat or close to maintenance, something like that to get more food in my body and reset my biofeedback. It's going to be a lot of listening to my body and a lot of just being like, okay, you feel you're solid, you can keep going. Great. I'm going to coach myself like I am a client. And it's going to be great. I'm very, very excited. So, do I have like a total like end date reverse diet thing planned? No, I do not. Because again, if I lose, let's throw out arbitrary numbers. Let's say I lose 25 pounds and I go, you know what? I'm happy right where I am, then I'm done. And if that only takes me 6 months, I'm done. Um, so as time goes on, it's going to become more important for me to consider stopping and reverse dieting and or just hopping back into maintenance. A reverse diet is not a necessary entity. But it is a nice thing to do, especially for people who are rigid trackers, or people who don't know their maintenance. I know what my maintenance is roughly, so I can hop up to maintenance. And as long as I'm comfortable with the little shift that the scale is going to do, I can tell pretty quickly whether or not that's the right number for me now. So is a reverse diet necessary for me personally? No, it's not. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Don't forget doing weights, put on the muscle. You'll find muscles heavier than fat. Yes. So muscles more dense than fat. Yes. Which yes, that's absolutely right. And so as I'm doing that, and that's one of the things that will sneak in and could result in me cutting the losses early and being like, nope, 37 is, I don't need to do 37. We're going to stop at 30. We're going to stop at 25. Because as I'm doing that and as my body continues to change, I might find that the body composition changes that happened have me completely satisfied with where I am. All of my clothes fit the way I want them to fit. And I'm done because the muscle helped, right? So yes, that's entirely a possibility. Tips for impatience during weight loss. This was asked by somebody who is currently going through a cut, and which is a calorie deficit, trying to lose some fat. And my tip is to freaking be patient. And I'm going to fall into this too. We need to remember that slow and steady really truly does win this race, right? Really, truly. The quicker you lose it, the quicker you're going to gain it back. Just think of it that way. The quicker you lose it, the quicker you're going to gain it back. Is it nice to see 1 week you dropped 1.5 pounds? Yeah, absolutely. But over time, you need to make sure that you are eating and losing in a way that feels sustainable to you. Because as soon as you drop into, I'm going to be severely restrictive and drop 20 pounds in 8 weeks, can you do it? Yeah, you absolutely can. But for what? Because then all of the diet mentality stuff is going to come trickling back in, and you're going to all of a sudden want to binge on all the things. You're going to want to, oh, finally, I've reached my goal. And guess what? You put the weight right back on. You put the weight right back on. And that's not what we want to do. We want to do things in such a way where we have the occasional refeed day, the occasional diet break, and we get down to that goal. But once we're there, we figure out how to stay there and live that maintenance life. And this person has an advantage, whereas she already knows how to live that maintenance life because I taught her how to live that maintenance life and she was thriving there. And so she knows how to do that, which is a great, great benefit. But you just have to remember the reasons why it's important to take your time, especially when you're leaner. And I know that you, person who asked the question, are a leaner individual. So it is going to take you longer than it takes somebody who weighs 250 pounds. It's going to take you longer because you have less to lose. So you're just going to have to be patient. And in the meantime, remind yourself with measurements, remind yourself with doing fun things for yourself now. Like, maybe you're not ready to like get into a new size of clothes, but can you play around with some new fancy things, accessories, things like that? Make it fun. Make it fun. Try a new, get a new workout outfit. Try a new workout. I don't know. Patient. The importance of impatience is understanding why you want it to happen quickly What does that actually mean? And reminding yourself why it's important that you don't do it quickly. Look at a trend weight and it says the rate I'll hit my goal by September 3rd, 2041. Okay. So then there's a couple of things that are happening here. Your deficit, you're not adhering to your deficit. Well, your deficit is wrong. Or you need to do you can pull back a little bit more. But also there's a lot that can be happening in your body. When is your next cycle due? Do you keep spiking back up? There's a whole bunch of different things that could get coached through. The reality is, in order to get the goals, you need to be consistent about it. And again, I have told you personally once, Lissa, that sometimes I think the range thing that you're doing may or may not be working for you. If you're admitting to me this really isn't going well, then you can't tell me that the range thing is working for you, because it's not. And that's the reality of it. And it was the same thing with the maintenance thing. Oh, since I was in maintenance, I've been gaining weight. Then guess what? You're not in maintenance. And I know it's not the kind of details you want to hear, but that's the truth. If you are not losing weight, you're not in a calorie deficit. Hard stop. So if you're losing weight so slowly that either your goal is too dramatic, that's also a possibility. Your goal is too dramatic, but if it's a reasonable goal, 20 pounds, and it's telling you you're not going to get there till 2041, there is something amiss that you need to go back and reassess. Have you got any advice who's someone who's losing the will to eat? If you're losing the will to eat, get your hands on your favorite foods. Get your hands on your favorite foods. If I am dying to, like, okay, so first, to be fully transparent, that has never happened to me. It has happened to me in short periods of time. Like when I had COVID, for example, I had no desire to eat food. So for me, I actually used that to my advantage. And I was like, no appetite means it'll be easy peasy for me to stay on track with my calorie deficit. So I actually lost a couple pounds when I had COVID, because I just stayed on track because nothing felt good. If it got to the point where it was dangerous to my health, speaking not as a health professional or a psychiatrist or anything of that matter, but if it was becoming detrimental to my health, my lack of desire to eat food, I would make it a point to get my hands on my favorite foods to eat. If it's junk, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because if you are not eating food, you are going to die. You will starve to death. So if you are somebody genuinely losing the will to eat and unable to stomach eating food, get your hands on something that you actually enjoy eating. And making some changes and setting a new, more rigid, not completely extreme. And what I'm saying is not, you can't go over by 10 calories here or 20 calories there. But I really think that having a range of 200 calories is not working. It's not working. But setting a single calorie goal or a carb cycling goal, and that's the difference. That's kind of the way that I do it, is with the carb cycling and the calorie cycling. I have a set goal with plus or minuses worked in. So for macro tracking, what do? We do plus or minus 5 for carbs, plus or minus 5 for protein, and plus or minus 3 for fat. That can be a difference of, let me do some quick math, about 100 calories. But you shoot for those numbers, right? And then 1 or 2 days a week, depending on how you're cycling things, you have a completely different goal. So you still have structure. You still have a singular goal, but within that picture of a week, you have different days. So it's even like with the Wendy plan. The Wendy plan, while offering a whole lot of flexibility, was still very rigid day to day, because you still had to stick to the plan, because mathematically everything was worked out to the point, right? So it's really important that, like, if you tell me you can't reach your goal until 2041 at the rate that you're doing your calorie deficit's wrong. Yeah, if you have to force yourself to eat, first of all, eat to live, my friend, but find something that you like to eat. What are some of your favorite foods? See if you can get your hands on those. That's what I would do for sure. So those are the only questions I have about my weight loss. If you guys have any other questions about my plan for 37 by 37, feel free to ask them. There is no question too personal. And in the meantime, I have 3 other random questions. What is your favorite gum? I don't eat gum. I haven't had gum in years, so I couldn't tell you. What is your favorite day of the week? My favorite day of the week, believe it or not, I think is Monday. I think my favorite day of the week is Monday. And I can like kind of rank them actually. I think my favorite day of the week is Monday because it just every Monday I wake up and it feels like a fresh start to me. And I love that fresh start feeling. Yes, it means we have to go back to work. But again, a privilege that I have is that I love doing what I do and I get to make my own schedule and do my own thing. So if I want a housewife on Monday, I housewife on Monday. If I want to create content, I create content. So I don't have the Sunday scaries, which makes Monday a really, really enjoyable experience for me. And it's kind of like the me time too, because during the weekend, my husband and I spend times together. So once Monday happens, he goes back to work up in his office and I get to do whatever I want. So it's kind of turns into my me time, which is nice. And then on the flip side though, I really like Fridays too, because it's like the weekend we sometimes have plans and I gotta sing and there's stuff to do when we gotta do housework on Saturday and all of those things. But Friday night, like we're working and doing our own thing all day. And then it's just usually like a lazier day where like we'll cuddle up and watch a movie or catch up on some TV. And it's real low key and just really a relaxing evening, which is very nice. So I do like Fridays a lot too. What is my favorite breed of dog? You think I'm going to say Yorkie, but that is not the answer. My all-time favorite breed of dog is a Labrador Retriever. There is something so special about Labradors. I used to have a Labrador. I had a big, one of those yellow labs that were not lean, but like the big, fluffy ones. If you follow Sharon Says So, America's government teacher, her yellow lab reminds me of my yellow lab. Just a big, floppy. It's like the dog never lost their little puppy skin. You know how they get like these fat rolls? My dog never lost that. And so she was fat and rolly and full of extra skin until the day that she died. Yellow labs, I say yellow labs, but I know all Labradors. Labradors are just the best dogs. They are so sweet. They are so loving. They are so loyal. They are absolutely wonderful creatures. I do like one Yorkie in particular. I've heard that Yorkies can be jerks too. My Yorkie's well, I do call her a jerk actually, but like she's actually a really sweet and good dog. One of my favorite dogs to look at and dogs that I want to squish. I love like the pit bull face and like the big old bulldog face. I just want to like squish them. But in terms of like the all over best in show dog for me is the Labrador Retriever. I love Labrador Retrievers. My range should still be in a deficit, even allowing that flexibility, but I'm changing my goal in my tracker. Averaging around 1,800 calories is obviously way too much. And it depends on a whole lot of other factors. And I know you're seeing I haven't been paying much attention to what exactly you're consuming, but are you eating food that is bloating you? Where are you? I asked you this once. Where are you in your cycle? Because I know you're not too far behind me and my cycle just ended, which means you could just be PMSing right now. And that's why you're having an extreme reaction to me saying your deficit's not working. So that's entirely possible as well. If you are expecting your period in the next 4 days or you have just finished it, chill out and see what the scale says in another couple days. Okay. Because we all know that the scale doesn't do fun things during that time of month. And there's no time. Yes, Rosie, your dad's dog. Yes, she is just, I love the squishy faces. And every time I see your dad's dog, I just want to, like, it looks like I want to like hurt her, but I don't. It's like, you know how women sometimes get made fun of for like and you hear about like the cute, you get angry because of something is so cute. Like it's the same sort of emotion that that is triggered when you see something really cute, that it kind of makes you rage a little bit. You've got to know what I'm talking about, women, especially women who are mothers. I know I'm not a mother, but like I have experiences this. And so like my desire to squeeze the face of a floppy dog is sounds like an aggressive behavior, but it's like cuteness aggression. I just am so overcome with cuteness that I just want to squeeze it. I experience that with dogs all the time, all the time. Ding, 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 ding. I called it simply based on your reaction. Simply based on your reaction. You have an extremist reaction. If you are accounting for the scale in the last couple of days, and that is telling you that you're not going to hit your goal until 2041, get off the scale until your period's over. Logic. My period started last Friday, and I did not weigh in from like 4 days before my period because of like my period, I could feel it in my tummy that you're just like a little bit bloated. All my pants were fitting tight, and I was like, this isn't even my fault, and I know it. I stayed away from the scale for almost a week, and I got on the scale on my birthday, even though that was the day that like my period was finally finished up, because I wanted to have like a start date weigh in. But don't be ridiculous. And if you're somebody who has a negative reaction to your hormonal bloat, don't weigh yourself during that time of month. Or start keeping a tracker that involves comparing week over week where you are in your cycle rather than day to day. Because if you compare mid ovulation phase to right before your period starts, that's not fair to you because the numbers could be wildly different. I restarted the tracker that my husband created for me in Excel that compares weights day of my cycle month to month. So I put in what my weight was day 1, day 2, or well, not day 1 because I didn't weigh in then. So I think I started on my birthday, which was day 4 of my cycle. And so those weights will go in, and as the months progress, I will once my period starts, I will start the next month. And then what this Excel sheet will do is it will take the previous month and this month, and it will tell me the weight difference between those 2 exact days in my cycle. So what I will be able to do is look at, okay, at the beginning of my cycle, I'm going to weigh less, right? Because biologically that makes the most sense. But it will tell me as my weight goes up throughout my cycle and I hit PMS, yes, the scale will be up from earlier in the month, but I can look directly to the left and be like, but I weighed this during this time last month. So as long as that number is still in the green, because if I lost weight month to month, it'll be green. If I gained, it'll be red. As long as it's green, I don't have to fret about anything, even though it's up maybe even a pound or 2 from the previous week. That's the kind of stuff you got to start doing. I credit James Smith for giving me the idea to have my husband create that form. Labs are so sweet. I had a black lab who's so loyal, like Toto. His name is Harry. Oh, cute. Yeah, my yellow lab, she was, I have a picture of her sitting over there. It's in black and white, but she was just the sweetest, most wonderful dog. She was my baby. My mom said she sat outside my bedroom door for 3 days when I left for college. I was so sad. And then the first time, I'll never forget it, the first time I came home from college for the weekend, I wasn't gone that long, only a couple weeks. I sat down and this dog, I've never heard her do this before, grunted at me for 20 minutes. It was like she was telling me everything that happened in the house while I was away. It was hysterical and it was so sweet. And she was just, oh, she was the best dog. She was the best dog. And if my husband would allow me to have a dog that shed and I could physically handle a dog that got that big and strong, I would absolutely have another Labrador. But it's not in the cards for me personally because I won't be able to walk her or take care of her in the way that she needs to be taken care of. Whereas Gracie is very easy for me to manhandle. So I am forever going to have little dogs that don't shed. But I love Labradors, and I will pet any Labrador that I can get my hands on. They're just the greatest little dogs. Aside from regards, I don't really get physical symptoms. You say that though, but does the scale change? You know? So, and you got to troubleshoot different things. Are you actually eating too many carbs, too much fat? Your protein is probably fine. Is it too much fiber? Is your fiber getting up to like the 50s or 60s? Because that's a lot of fiber, which could be blocking up the system, which could be causing you to hold on to physical food. There's a whole lot of things that it could be. But the reality is, I think the right answer is pulling back just a little bit. So like, what was your range? You said something about 1,800 calories a day is obviously way too much, but are you eating 1,700 to 1,900? I challenge you for a week to just eat 1,800, give or take 15 or 20, rather than have that 1,700 to 1,900 range. Just eat the 1,800 and use that data to see how things go. And then after a week or two of eating there and seeing whether or not the scale continues to move reasonably, remember, half a pound a week, totally fine. Then decide whether or not you need to pull back a little bit further. But only after you do a reasonable experiment, like just eating consistently in the same thing rather than in a range. Sheba does that for a few minutes when I get back. It's the funniest thing. I just couldn't believe that she. I want a big dog that's not a wheelchair. Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, I love big dogs. A mini Labradoodle. We have thought about it. We have thought the doodle breed is on our radar. We may or may not, but it is on our radar for when we get a bigger house in a backyard. It is a possibility, but again, I need to be stronger than the dog. That's the thing. So if I can get a small one that's like maybe 30 pounds, maybe. But oh my gosh, I love the big dog personality though. That's the part that really gets me. Like my parents' dog, the giant 70 something pound beast of an animal. She has the biggest heart, and she's also a wuss, but she's just so sweet and so wonderful. And then I look at Gracie and I'm like, why can't you have her personality? Come on. It's a Rhodesian Ridgeback. Y'all, Harry Potter fans, did I read that as Norwegian Ridgeback? I sure did. And I'm like, Andy, why do you want a dragon? Harry Potter on the brain much? A little bit. Anyway, oh my gosh, it's 8:00. How did that happen? Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's what's happening with my weight loss. I'm very excited. So a lot of my content is going to be it's not, and because I know some people will be like, oh well, what is she going to do if weight loss is her number one priority and everything else is second fiddle? Does it mean she's quitting YouTube? No, it does not. What it means is there will be more content that will be solely geared towards what I am currently doing. And it's going to be more just sharing, and like some people might be all for it, especially the people who were here for Weight Watchers stuff before. Not going back to Weight Watchers. No, I am not trying the new Weight Watchers plan. Or anything like that. But the reality is it's going to be a lot more of like, especially, and the problem is it's not going to be like this until probably we get home from all of our holiday travel. So it might be a couple months of just kind of vlogs. But it'll be a lot more of like, all right, so here's the meal plan for this week. All right, here are the three, here's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Here's, of course, what I ate in a day. Am I going to be sharing exact calorie numbers with you? No. Will I share, maybe I'll share some of the calories of like calories and specifically protein about what's in the food that I'm eating, maybe. But I'm not going to share my specific goals with you, because the goals that I create are for my specific body. And I don't want anybody believing that they have to eat the same numbers as me to get the same results, because every body is different. So I will not be sharing, I'm going to be eating 1,500 calories and 125 grams of protein and blah, blah. I'm not going to share that. If you took the time to figure out in my videos what I'm eating, then that's on you. That's fine, whatever. But I will probably start sharing weigh-ins again, and I possibly, again, not until we get home, probably, because just things are going to be so wildly inconsistent when I'm at my in-laws' house. But all of that kind of content is coming, so I can still create content. I can still live stream. I can still do all of those things, but understanding that even the Divine is taking a step back to the back burner compared to actually me taking action and getting these things done. Me actually doing the cooking is going to be more important than me vlogging the cooking. Me actually getting the 10,000 steps is going to be more important than me sitting and editing videos for 6 hours at the computer. And that's just how it's going to have to be. Why? Because once I get it done, then it's done. And that's all I want is just to get it done. So there's that. And I hope you feel better. You can get to the store. Beakers plus throat space. Awesome. Soothing medicine and no taste. Yeah. So what the good news is we'll have to see how I feel tomorrow. While things still feel a little bit scratchy, I can talk. And usually if I can talk, I can sing. So there's that. As long as I can sing on Sunday, then we're good to go. And yeah, we got chatting again. Yeah, and that's exactly the point, is to get chatting, right? So I was trying not to laugh when I saw the name and dialed the number. Nice. All right, friends, I'm going to let you go. Reminder, no live stream next week. No live stream. I will be in Illinois hanging out with my family, and there's just no good place to do it. So next time I see you guys, I will be in sunny Florida and not freezing my tush off. So have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving for everybody who's in the United States. And I will talk to you all in 2 weeks. What day is that? I don't even know. December or no. Let's see. The 30th. The 30th, the last day of November. I will see you guys then. Thanks for hanging out. Take care.